Good afternoon, my name is Lewis. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all safe and well. Now today I'm going to be continuing the vinyl smorgasbord episodes, and today I think I've got three albums which, I think in terms of the Christmas season, I think they're very apt. I can't wait for you to see them, and hopefully I'm going to be introducing some material that you've never seen before. So first out of the gate is a 2016 release, and it's a self-titled album by a band called the Olympians. There we go. Look at that cover. Isn't that phenomenal? To my way of looking and my rudimentary knowledge of art, this reminds me of Terry Gilliam, the gentleman from Monty Python who is in charge of the art direction. It feels very much in his kind of wheelhouse of style. Apart from this is not on the absurd side. So perhaps one or two of you in the comment section can clarify if I've got that right or not, but certainly to my eyes that's the nearest equivalent I can think of. This is an absolutely gorgeous album. It's the reason why I'm stumbling is because there is an issue, and it will determine whether or not you actually go for it as an item that you would perhaps think about for your own collection. Now, in terms of jazz style, I would say this is more of a respectful homage piece rather than a parody, which sometimes parodies are quite insincere. They're kind of like a Mickey take, whereas this is done with heart and soul, but yet has an identity of its own, and that's why I'm going to think of this more of as a homage piece more than as a parody. There are many sweet compositions on this album, and the tracks themselves are played with such a sense of fun, but nevertheless they're executed with power and soul, which I really found not only interesting but really rewarding and entertaining. So yeah, I was kind of like shocked by how good this album is. I bought it when it first came out, and I haven't listened to it as much as I should have, so naughty me. And I'm super glad to have pulled it out for this episode, given it another listen, and then perhaps getting some of you to have a listen to it, see what you think, and it may well be a fixture in your collection in time to come. Hopefully that's the case, because I certainly enjoyed it. I would recommend this particular album to just about anyone. If you are interested in music and not particularly in jazz, I feel that at least that you can listen to this and enjoy it for what it is. I give this a really strong recommendation to those who just enjoy music, and jazz doesn't necessarily have to be part of your taste. But yeah, this is just a super example of how good musicians can be when they're just left to do their own thing. The tracks that I would recommend from this particular album are Sirens of Jupiter, Mars, and Pluto's Lament. Again, another fixture of this particular album. I love the track titles. They just seem to have got everything right. So yeah, well done, bravo to you. The notables on this particular album are, it's not individuals, it's just to give you, it was more of a footnote. The Olympians are made up from members of the following groups: the Dap Kings, the Expressions, and the Menahan Street Band. So they've all come together to be part of the Olympians, and they've put this particular product out. And well done to you all. It could have been an absolute garbage fire, but yeah, I'm happy to say that this is a really good album, and yeah, have a listen to it, see what you think. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and hopefully when you hear it for yourselves you go, oh yeah, I see what Lewis was saying. Yeah, I think I will purchase this one as well. Not sure how hard it is to get hold of this particular album anymore, but certainly on CD you should be fine to find it. But on vinyl you may struggle. So it's not a case of how much it costs, it's more a case of is it available. So that's today's first album. Today's second album brought me quite a bit of joy. It's a 1973 release, and the band is called Rupture, and the actual album title is it's a dual title, Israel Sweet and Dominant en Blue. There you go. So yeah, an unusual one. Let me unfold it for you as well so you can see what's on the inside. There you go. Oh, what a handsome moustache. That moustache, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I wish I could grow mine in like that. But yeah, this person's a hero of mine. So well done for that moustache. For me anyway, this particular album by Rupture was a very enjoyable journey through jazz and jazz fusion, with a slice of funk rock and psychedelia and folk music all combined within the same album. So there's a lot going on here, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a high concept piece, and yeah, things can go wrong, but I appreciate the risks that were taken in this case, and I feel they executed it quite marvelously. In my original notes, which accompanied me listening to this particular album, I was waxing lyrical about this album. I was saying it's a work of genius and so on. On reflection and listening to it a number of times after I wrote that original statement, I'm gonna walk it back slightly, because I was thinking, oh, how original this is, and then it just dawned on me, like just like that, Serge Gainsbourg or Gainsborough. If you've heard any of his back catalogue, and certainly the more famous pieces, this could almost be something that he would have done. And I don't mean to throw any shade there, because really what I'm saying is that this is operating at really a high level, this particular album, and it would be something that Serge could do if he wanted to, and it very much sounds within his wheelhouse. So it depends on where you stand in this particular debate. If you don't like Serge, then there's perhaps no point listening to this. But if you do like Serge, and you want a bit of French exotica, then please do give this one a listen. It certainly deserves your attention. I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed the imagination and vision on display in regards to this album. I think they took some real risks here, but yeah, I think overall they landed it. There's a lot of, maybe not as a complete album, but there are excerpts on this album where it just simply blew my mind. I would probably confine my listening to I'll speak about that in just a minute anyway. But yeah, I'm super glad that this album exists. Now, the tracks that I would recommend from this album is Israel Sweet, which is like a 20-minute piece, and that's where I think most of the rewards from this album are to be found. But there is another track, and it's Voyage sous la mer. yes, and I'm gonna congratulate myself on my faux French accent. Yeah, I did that pretty good. Yeah, those two tracks. But yeah, it's really this Israel Suite, which is the outstanding piece on here. So please give that a listen, and listen to it the whole way through, because there are moments of absolute majesty in that particular suite. Now, the notables on this album are Jean-Pierre Masse on piano, Sylvain Crief, who I believe is the band leader, on drums, who's done a fantastic job throughout, and Jean-Francois Jenny Clark on bass. Again, between the three of them, they just do an absolutely superb job on this particular album. So please check it out, have a listen, see what you think, see if it will fit into your own personal collection. But I'm super pleased to have this in mind. So yeah, that's today's second album. Today's third and final album is a 1963 release, and it's by a lovely lady called Nara Leo, and the album is called Nara. There you go. Yeah, I really do I like this album cover. It's simple yet complicated at the same time. I love the actual font choice. I think that's super nice, and actually, like, the artist herself looks kind of moody in the corner, and that all makes sense once you actually hear the album. So for me anyway, this is an absolutely fantastic album featuring top tier Brazilian female vocals. So yeah, if you're thinking about Elis Regina, if you're thinking about, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, an Astrid Gilberto, any one of those of that level, a Joyce, she's certainly up there. Really and truly, without doubt, she's up there at the same level. Nara has an unmistakable vocal style. Her tone is delicate and almost innocent. However, there is an underlying pathos or earnestness to her vocal delivery, which thoroughly kept me entertained. But at the same time, it was slightly unsettling. It's that kind of combination thing. And when you do hear it for yourself, you may just kind of like agree with me, and if you don't, please let me know either way in the comment section. This is an album littered with just classics, bossa nova, samba classics. And if there's only one album that you are to own in your collection, which is an example of this era of golden era Brazilian female vocals, then you'd be hard pressed to find a better album than this particular one. The tracks that I would recommend from this album is, and here goes the Portuguese again, so yeah, if I stumble over it, please forgive me. Canção de Terra, Vui por Aí. Yeah, when you see the album cover, and you'll get what I mean there. And last one is Maria Motta. Three outstanding tracks there from an outstanding album. You're in for an absolute treat. Please give it a listen, see what you think. And if you are inclined towards the bossa nova samba style and you don't already have this album, you'll probably make a beeline to try and get it. Yeah, on vinyl, you may struggle. Not to do with the price itself, but just finding it. CD should be far easier. So, on that note, I'd like to thank you for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate you listening to my musings about the three albums concerned. Please enjoy the festive season. I would say do everything in moderation. We don't want any accidents out there. So yeah, enjoy yourself over the Christmas season. Stay safe. I will see you for the next episode, where I will unveil another 3 albums, which I think may interest you. Something to consider for your own collection. If you've been entertained by the video, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting down below. But I will see you soon for the next episode. So until then, take care. Bye bye.